All right, so what's up, y'all? So, we have a predicament. So, we have a cat in our neighborhood. It's a neighbor's cat, and this cat keeps on leaving dead animals around our house. Now, let me give you some background around this. So, basically, this is a pretty young cat. It's only been in the neighborhood for maybe about a year, going on 2. And it's a real energetic cat, kind of like a little kid. It's a real energetic cat. I noticed that a lot of the other neighborhood cats kind of ignore it, and it's always kind of like you always see it prowling around, this, that, and the other. Now, I think the reason why it keeps on leaving dead animals around my house, in my carport, in my backyard, in my driveway, is because it likes my children. Now, we don't have pets for our kids. Well, we do have our chickens. But aside from that, we don't have any of your traditional pets, your cats, your dogs, and stuff like that. And so that cat has come around my kids whenever my kids been outside playing and done this little meow stuff to kind of butter them up. And so they catch themselves picking it up and this and that. Of course, I'm telling them, y'all leave those folks' cat alone because it's going to keep on wanting to come over to our house. And it has been now. The thought came to my mind as far as like what to do with the dead animals, and I am going to bury them in my garden. Now, I got this idea from, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he is an Australian guy who has a great YouTube, but anyway, he has a great YouTube channel on his like garden. He grows so much of his own produce and whatnot, very inspirational. But he had a video some time ago where he came across like a dead kangaroo or something like that, and he buried it under, I want to say like some fruit tree, maybe a banana tree or something. But anyway, he came back a season later, and it had produced bountifully. Now the thing is, as we all know, pretty much everything that's alive, the way God made stuff, it comes from the ground, and so it returns to the ground. So it's only it only makes sense that as something returns to the ground, it releases nutrients to be used, by the other living things and whatnot. So it makes sense to me. So I'm like, while I try to figure out what I need to do to get this cat to stop killing small animals, if I come across them, why don't I return them to the soil of our garden and, let them fertilize our next vegetables and whatnot. So like the thing is, we already compost. We put vegetable scraps and even chicken bones that we've used for broth and stuff like that have been dried and sometimes ground. We put those in our compost. So it's kind of the same type of thing if you really think about it. But anyhow, let me go ahead and show y'all what I'm working with, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this bird up so I can get back to my other work. But let's do it. All right, so here is the poor, unfortunate bird that I saw the cat messing with just yesterday here in my carport. And sorry, y'all, if that kind of bothers you to see it or whatever. But this is the, it's what cats do, I guess, It's like it's their natural instinct to kill small animals, to hunt them and all that kind of stuff. But anyhow, I'm going to get this up and put it in my garden, Now, my daughter told me that she had seen a bird somewhere in this area, and I don't see the bird, but I do see this. A pretty significant piece of feather. So, I don't know if the cat came back and got this particular bird, and there's a little bit of feather, where's it at? Feather tuft right there, as well as right there too. So, there was a dead bird somewhere over here, but I can't find it. These cats are ruthless, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bury the bird in this first planter right here. I'm also gonna put in some scraps from the kitchen, some eggshells and vegetable scraps and all that kind of stuff. Bury that in there as well, and that's gonna be essentially like our winter fertilizer, if you will. And in the meantime, as I do this, I'm going to try to block the view from these birds here, who probably wouldn't be very happy to see one of their cousins in that particular shape or whatever. They don't particularly want to see me, it seems, either. But that's neither here nor there. They don't. They like the kids more than they like me, because the kids are always kind of like giving them extra treats and stuff. So, oh well, you know how that goes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move some of this dirt into here, and then bury the bird, and then replace the dirt. All right, so I dug a pretty deep hole here in the middle. I'm gonna kind of, because the birds are real cute, my chickens are curious, so I'm gonna kind of shield them from what's going on. We're gonna put that bird right there. See, there's the bird. It's actually kind of like covered in some other kind of pine straw and stuff that was in the container that I put this bird in. But there is the bird. You see the tail feather, very unfortunate. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put our vegetable scraps in there too. So before I put these vegetable scraps in there, I went ahead and put some dirt on top of the bird, because I don't want to just dump vegetable scraps in there. But here are those. You see lettuce, banana peels, oranges, and orange peels, and coffee grounds, eggshells, etc., etc. We're gonna put these in there. It's a juicy mess. I'm gonna have to let this rinse this out or whatever, but it's all good. Got some pine cones here that one of my kids was kind of playing with. Apparently we're gonna go ahead and dump those in there as well, because these take a while to break down too, so I just throw these in there. Because you know, you figure all this stuff returns to the ground anyway. So anyhow. So I'm gonna save the details of filling this thing back up with dirt. But the only other thing I'm gonna do aside from fill it up, put this little popsicle stick in there, and you can't see it, but it says fertilized. And I'm gonna stick it in here so I know that I put in fertilizer, so to speak. But of course, all it is just bird plus food scraps that are going to, over the winter, break down and release nutrients the way that God's natural thing works, around here. So I need to tell my kids, don't mess with this, because a lot of times my kids and our chickens tend to kind of mess up what I'm doing, but it is what it is. All right. Anyhow, y'all, garden, man, it just kind of follow the way things are created. And I'm curious to know, like, if you guys have done this before, if you've buried a dead animal in your garden, if you've gotten results, that type of thing. Anyhow, y'all, take care. I got some work to do.